Good morning, students. Welcome back again to biology CET classes. Okay. So in the last class, I have already discussed about the first chapter called as reproduction in organisms, isn't it? So I hope you have understood that and you are already gone through the questions what I have discussed. Similar questions has to be answered by you. Okay. So you have to go through the questions and then same questions or different questions from that chapter you have to answer. If you come across with any of the doubts, you can ask me while message. Okay, so you can message me the question and I will discuss the answer. Okay, got it, students? Okay, so I have already given the synopsis, an introduction to the second chapter called as sexual reproduction in flowering plants, isn't it? Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the reproductive part of the flower. So which is a reproductive part of the reproductive part of the flowering plants, isn't it? So which is a reproductive part of the flowering plants? That is nothing but the flower. Name only indicates that is flower. So we have detailedly discussed about the parts of the flower. In that, essential orals, non-essential orals, isn't it? Okay, next. So I have also discussed about the parts of the essential orals, that is very essential for reproduction, isn't it? So androecium and gynoecium are the essential orals which are required for the reproduction process, that too sexual reproduction. So in that we have discussed about the male reproductive unit, that is androecium. Structural unit is called as stamen. Structure of the stamen consisting of anther and filament, and the structure of anther, that is bilobed dithecous anther, isn't it? That is bilobed dithecous anther. And we have also discussed about the microsporangium structure. So inside the anther, we can see the presence of a 4 chambers called microsporangium. Since it is 4 in number, it is called as tetrasporangiate. My tetrasporangiate or 4 microsporangia, isn't it? Okay. So inside that we have also discussed the layers found in the microsporangium. Each enlarged microsporangium shows outer epidermis, next to that endothelium, and next to that middle layers, 2 to 3 layers of middle layers, and then tapetum, which is nutritious in its function, and then innermost cells called as sporogenous tissue. This sporogenous tissue will become mature and that involves in the production of pollen grains by meiotic division, isn't it? This PMC, so-called pollen mother cells, which are present in the sporogenous tissue, undergo meiotic division and produces microspores. These microspores will later dissociate with each other and get converted as a pollen grains. These pollen grains will get inside the pollen grains. We can see the presence of a male gametes, isn't it? Okay. So in detail, wherever the question will come on this concept, I'll discuss this in detail. Okay. Next, what is there in the structure of pollen grain is important. Okay. Next to that is the female reproductive part. That is which one? Gynoecium. The structural unit of gynoecium is called as what? Pistil or carpel. Coming to structure of the pistil or carpel, it consisting of 3 parts. Yeah, we have the 3 parts of the stigma, style, and ovum. Isn't it? So stigma is the receptive area which receives the pollen grains, which consisting of male gametes. Okay, next. Style, which is a function of the style here, it passes the pollen tube carrying male gametes to the ovum. Okay, so basal bulged part of the pistil is called as what? Ovary, which consisting of many ovules, 1 to many ovules. There may be a single ovule or there may be a many ovules. So they are arranged on the cushion-like structure called as placenta, and the process is said to be placentation. Okay, so we have discussed this in detail in the first year also, placentation. Okay. Go through this. Ah. Next, what is there in this? We have detailedly discussed Megasporangium. Okay, inside the ovule, we can see the presence of a structure called as megaspore. Ovule is also called as what? Megasporangium. So, structure of megasporangium is important here. Integument layer, nucellar layer, okay, chalasil core, micropyle region, like this. The structure of the ovule and appearance of ovule is also important. There are different appearance of ovules and there are different names for this. What we are going to study in majority of the angiosperms are showing anatropous ovule. What is the meaning of anatropous here? Straight. Micropyle region will be like this. Okay. Like this, the ovule structure will be. This is a funicle and this budget part is called as ovule or megasporangium. Chalasil pole is below the structure. Micropyle is and this structure. Appearance of ovule is said to be anatropous. Like this, many types of ovules are there based upon the arrangement. Carcinotropous, amphitropous, hemitropous. Like this, many types of ovules are there. But basically what we are going to study is about the anatropous ovule. Okay, next what is there here? So we have detailedly discussed about male gametes formation, female gametes formation, isn't it? Next, how does male and female gametes are going to fuse? So plants, since both the gametes are non-motile here, any of the gametes don't have motility. Okay, they can't able to move from one place to another place. That's why the plants, especially the flowering plants which involves in sexual reproduction, exhibit a special mechanism for the transfer of male gametes near to the female gametes. And the process is called as what? Pollination. Isn't it? We have discussed about in detail about the pollination and the theory class. What will come across here? I'll go through by headings. Okay. So, in the pollination. Very first is the definition of pollination. The process of transfer of male gametes from either a same plant or by the different or to the different, either from the same plant or to the different, isn't it? So the process of transfer of male gametes carrying by the pollen grains from either the same plant, either to the same plant or to the different plant, isn't it? To the onto the surface of the stem. So this process is called as what? Pollination. So next types of pollination is that autogamy, self-pollination. We will come across two types of flowers here. So some of the plants such as viola, isn't it? They produce oxalis, two types of flowers, that is casmogamous flowers and cleistogamous flowers. Casmogamous flowers are well exposed with androecium and gynoecium, whereas cleistogamous flowers are always closed condition. They never open at all, they never bloom at all. Okay, in such a type of flowers, there is compulsorily autogamy has to take place, means self-pollination has to be take place. No chance for the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination means what here? Transferring of the male gametes from anther of one flower to the stigma of the another flower. That type of pollination is said to be what? Cross-pollination. Okay, and the cross-pollination, again it is of two types. Gytenogamy, xenogamy. So what is gytenogamy here? Of course, the transfer of the male gametes from one flower to the stigma of the another flower, it will take place. But both the flowers are found in the same plant. One day plant with the male flower as well as female flower. And then the transfer. So that process is called as gytenogamy. Whereas xenogamy, transfer of male gametes from anther of the one flower to the stigma of the another flower present on different flowers. Different. So this is said to be xenogamy. This is what types of pollination what we have discussed. Coming to the mechanism of transferring of male gametes, how the pollination takes. So basically there are agents which involves in pollination. That is abiotic agent, biotic agent. Abiotic agent means which don't have life, isn't it? So which are the abiotic agents which involve in pollination? Yav involve in wind. air, wind or air involves in pollination, and water involves in pollination. The pollination which takes place through wind is called as Anamophily, and the plants which involves in wind pollination has to exhibit separate characters, isn't it? You discussed in the 5-mark questions. So what are all the characters that has to be exhibited by the wind pollinating flowers or Anamophilus flowers, isn't it? Okay. Next, water. Some of the plants such as lower plants, bryophytes, gymnosperms, not only gymnosperms, pteridophytes, only 30% of the genera of the flowering plants or gymnosperms will involve in water pollination. Okay, majority of the angiospermic plants will not opt the water pollination. Only lower plants are exhibiting water pollination. And the water pollination is called as what? Hydrophily. Hydrophily. Okay, next, biotic agents. Many of the animals, birds involved in pollination, hence that is called as what? Biotic agent. And the pollination which takes place through animals is said to be zoophily. Meaning of zoo is what here? Animals. Okay. Next, varieties of animals and insects, birds involved in pollination, grazing animals. Okay. Unknowingly, then never perfectly or directly they are involving in pollination. Unknowingly, for their benefits, they will go for the different plants. And unknowingly, they will transfer the male gametes or pollen grains from one flower to another flower. Okay, like this, the pollination takes place through animals. And varieties of birds. The pollination takes place through birds is called as ornithophily. Okay, Malacophily, pollination takes place with slugs and snails. Okay, Myrmecophily means the pollination takes place through ants. Okay, next, Chiropterophily. Chiropterophily means what? The pollination takes place through bats. Bats, bogligel. Okay, next, the pollination takes place through insects is called as Entomophily. Like this, so many phyllies are there. Okay, so either male questions. Any of the questions may come on this concepts. Next, what is there in this chapter? I'm going a little bit fast because we do not get time to discuss the question. Okay, next, pollinating agents, type of pollination, everything we have discussed. After the transferring of male gametes onto the stigma, what are all the events that is taking place? Okay, as soon as the pollen grains containing male gametes falls on the stigma, there will be an interaction. Okay, that interaction is called as pollen crystal interaction. If suitable pollen grain containing male gametes falls on the suitable stigma, then the pollen crystal interaction will be successful and it involves in the transferring of the male gametes to the Microsporogenesis. Inside the Megasporangium, we can see the presence of what? Embryo sac, which consisting of 8 nucleated stages. 7-celled, 8 nucleated stages. Embryo sac. So, you know which are the 7 cells and how many nucleus will be there that we have discussed in detail. Okay. So, this is how pollen crystal interaction takes place. Next, after this, double fertilization is the characteristic feature of the flowering plants which takes place during fertilization events. So, one of the male gametes fuses with the egg present in the embryo sac and forms a zygote. Remaining one, what? Male gametes fuses with the two dipolar diploid nuclei present in the central large cell. So, that triple fusion takes place. So, once zygote formation, once fertilization is taking place, and one more fertilization, that is fusing of one more male gametes with the diploid nuclei, polar diploid nuclei, that one more fertilization, hence it is said to be double fertilization. Hence, 3 nucleus are fusing at a time. It is also called as what? Triple fusion. Okay, double fertilization and triple fusion is a characteristic feature of angiosperm. Got it? So after fertilization, post-fertilization events takes place. Okay. Meanwhile, we have also discussed about the outbreeding devices. What are outbreeding devices? See, in the bisexual flowers, which produces male and female gametes in the single flower. For 4 to 5 generation, it is okay, no problem. But after 4 to 5 generation, it leads to the sterility. Either male gametes will not produce or female gametes, that is egg will not produce. This process is called as what? Sterility, self-sterilization. See, in order to overcome this self-sterility, the bisexual flowers will opt certain mechanism in order to avoid self-pollination and go for cross-pollination. Okay, so this mechanism is called as outbreeding devices. This also we have also detailedly discussed in theory classes. There is dicliny, dichogamy, harpogamy, heterostyle. Isn't it? Like this, varieties of 5 outbreeding devices we have discussed. So if question come on this, I'll discuss it again in detail. Okay. Next, after outbreeding devices, post-fertilization events. We have left with post-fertilization events. So after double fertilization, what are the things that taking place? And the embryo sac is regarded as post-fertilization events. Okay. So very first, development of endosperm takes place. So what is endosperm? Endosperm is a nutritive tissue which is triploid in its number, right? Diploid polar nuclei fuses with one male gametes, haploid nuclei, male gametes, and forms the triploid tissue. So this cell, central cell containing this nucleus, the nucleus is said to be what? PEN, primary endosperm nucleus in the curriculum. So this leads to the formation of endosperm. So which is a nutritive tissue. What is the meaning of nutritive tissue? Because this tissue involves in providing nutrition for the developing embryo. And the formation of endosperm will always takes place first after the formation of zygote takes place. Okay, so this is how post-fertilization events. So here, very first, the nuclear division takes place. Repeated nuclear division takes place, resulting in the formation of only nucleus inside, many nucleus inside a single long cell. And this condition is said to be liquid endosperm. The free nuclear endosperm is liquid in its appearance, and hence it is said to be what? Liquid endosperm, liquid nuclear endosperm. Best example for this is the tender coconut. Inside the tender coconut, the nutritive contained solution what we are consuming is nothing but the free nuclear endosperm. Okay, so free nuclear endosperm is very rich in nutrition. So that's why the patients are always preferred with tender coconut. Yake avralli enidalla. So immune system weak ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, nutrition content ಎಲ್ಲ lack ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ. So in order to provide instant, fast nutrition to that, the doctors will suggest tender coconuts. Okay, tender coconut means ಎಳನೀರು. Got it? So this free nuclear endosperm found inside the tender coconut is a very best example for the liquid nuclear endosperm. After that, after the completion of liquid nuclear endosperm, the cell wall will be formed among each nuclei and they get converted as a cellular endosperm. Okay, so cellular endosperm after ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ nuclear liquid endosperm ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so inside the dry coconut, kobri, so we will not get the cellular endosperm at all. Sorry, liquid nuclear endosperm at all. Why? Because it has been all transferred as a cellular endosperm. Okay, so this is how the post-fertilization events. After the formation of endosperm, zygote will develop into an embryo. And the process is said to be embryo genesis. Formation of embryo is called as embryo genesis, which includes varieties of stages. Very first, single-celled zygote divides mitotically and then forms many cells, which result in the formation of different shapes in the developing zygote to the embryo. That is heart-shaped embryo, globular embryo, embryo. Like this, varieties of stages will come in the embryogenesis, and finally it leads to the formation of a seeds. Isn't it? Embryo will get developed into what? Seeds. And two types of seeds have formed in the flowering plants. That is monocot seeds, diploid. So monocot consisting of only single cotyledon, that is nutritive tissue, whereas dicots consisting of double cotyledons, two cotyledons, that is nutritive tissue. So embryo, the mature embryo get converted into a monocot embryo or dicot embryo. Okay, the structure of monocot embryo and dicot embryo is very important. Monocot embryo will for 3 marks, dicot embryo for 2. You have to go through the diagrams. Okay, after that, completion of fertilization, ovule will get converted into seeds, ovary will get converted into fruits. In the rest of the chapter, we are going to discuss about the structure of the seeds and structure of the fruits, isn't it? The structure of the seed consisting of what? Hard integument layer. So will get turned as a seed core. Inside that we can see the presence of a embryonal axis with 1 or 2 cotyledons. And then a small pore-like opening called as seed micropyle. Okay, seed micropyle, through which exchange of gases as well as moisture content takes place with the external environment. Okay. In the inactive condition, this seed undergo a inactive condition or inactive stage unless and until they will get the favorable condition. They have been present in an inactive stage called as seed dormancy. Isn't it? Many seeds exhibit different dormancy periods. And in some of the seeds, we can also see the presence of a remnant part of the nucellar region found in the structure of the ovule, and that remnant part of the nucellar region is said to be what? Perispar. Example, black pepper beet, or the example for the presence of remnant part of the nucleus. And then rest of the syllabus consisting of about the fruits. So what are fruits? After fertilization, ovary will get converted as a fruits. In this, we will come across varieties of fruits, true fruits, false fruits, isn't it? Fleshy fruits, dry fruits, and then seeds are of ex-albuminous seeds, albuminous seeds. Like this, varieties of seeds and fruits we have discussed. And one more thing important here is parthenogenesis, that is formation of fruit without fertilization is said to be parthenogenesis or parthenocarpy. We will call it as what? Parthenocarpy. And such fruits are said to be parthenocarpic fruits. Very best example for this is the banana. Isn't it? Banana will develop without fertilization. Okay, next. Rest of the thing consisting of importance of seeds. So what is the importance of seeds in the field of agriculture? We have also discussed about the importance of seeds in the agriculture. Okay, and outermost layer of the seeds called as fruit called as pericarp, which is differentiated into outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner endocarp. Okay, next last concept of this chapter is apomixis and polyembryo. What is apomixis? As such of fruits develop without fertilization, like that seeds will also develop without fertilization. Okay, that concept is called as apomixis. The process of formation of seeds without fertilization is said to be apomixis, and development of more than one embryo inside a seed, single seed, is said to be polyembryo. Okay, and the formation of advantages of apomictic seeds over the normal hybrid seeds, that is also there in this chapter. Okay, so I think enough information has been given regarding the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So we will go through the questions one by one. Okay, so I have chosen some of the important questions. So what is there in this chapter? Like this, many questions you will get. So you will discuss, you can discuss among yourselves. Okay. So very first question is, anther is typically what? Structure of anther is said to be what? So the options are tetrasporangiate, bisporangiate, trisporangiate, monosporangiate. Now only I have discussed the structure of the anther is usually dithecous, bilobed dithecous, which consists of 4 microsporangia, isn't it? So that's why the option is tetrasporangiate, isn't it? Okay, the structure of anther is typically a tetrasporangiate. Okay, next, microsporogenesis Yes. What is microsporogenesis? The formation of microspores by pollen mother cells through meiotic division is called as microsporogenesis, where it will take place inside the structure of the anther, inside the microsporangium, isn't it? So, where it is see, the options are the margins of leaves, inside the ovule, megasporangium will sporogenesis takes place, not microsporogenesis. Okay, margins of the leaves alagata? No. Margins of the leaves alagata leaf propagation, vegetative propagation through leaves. So inside the anther, of course, it is right, isn't it? So it takes place inside the anther itself. Okay, next, eggs. In essential floral organs, suitable options are like. So the correct option is inside the anther. Okay, next, question number 3. Exine of pollen grains is formed of. So what is exine is made of? So first we have to come across what is exine, isn't it? Where we can say the presence of the exine. So just recall, it will come on the structure of the pollen grain. The outermost structure of the pollen grain consisting of a hard layer called as what? Eggs. Okay, so this exine is made up of a strong organic material called as sporopollenin. Sporopollenin. Here and there, the sporopollenin is deposition is absent, and that area is called as what? Germ pores, through which the pollen tube will enter the outside region. Okay, next. So here, which is the correct option for question number 3? Exines of pollen grain is formed of what? Sporopollenin, isn't it? Okay, which is a strong organic material. Next question is also related to the sporopollenin itself. We will see in that. Okay. See, one of the most resistant known biological material is sporopollenin. It is said to be strong organic material ever still is. ಇದನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ organic strong material ಇನ್ನು ಯಾವುದು? Why? Because the sporopollenin is having the capacity to resist to strong acid, high alkaline condition, and high temperature. So that's why this is the most resistant known biological material. Okay. Organic material or biological material. Okay. So that's why, which is the correct option for this question? Sporopollenin is the correct option. Okay. So ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದೇ sporopollenin answer ಆದರೆ questions are of different types. Okay. Next. Okay, shall we go for the next one? An ovule is. Alva. So ovule is. It is a megasporangium. Of course, we know the answer. Very easily we can write. An ovule is a megasporangium. Isn't it? So, but we have to see the other option also. Ovule is a megasporangium, megasporophyll, integumented megasporangium, rolled megasporophyll. Okay, so what is the meaning of megasporangium? Ovule is also called as megasporangium, which consists of a mature embryo sac. Okay, this is the correct answer for our question. But let's see the other option also. Megasporophyll means what? These are the female cones which consist of female gametes. There. Okay, inside the gymnosperms, we can see the formation of this megasporophylls, or in the lower organisms, such as lower plants, such as herdophores. Okay, so we can see the formation of megasporophyle. Rolled megasporophyll means twisted in that appearance, rolled in that appearance. So let's see the option C also. It is integumented megasporangium. Of course, among A and C, if we opt for the suitable option, we will come across with option C. Why? Because an ovule is an integumented megasporangium where it is covered with the two hard integument layers. Okay. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎರಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸಿದಾಗ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂತ ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. How come we can guess this? If we know the structure of the ovule very clear, isn't it? So structurally integument layer ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ integumented megasporangium ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಈ ತರ ಆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, so that's why in biology, if we know the concepts very clearly, depth ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದಬೇಕು. ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant is called as what? I have explained now. Only 3 types of pollination held. Alva? So autogamy andreno self pollination, xenogamy andreno cross pollination, gychenogamy andreno cross pollination takes place within the different flower present in the same plant. So e definition we are the most suitable one, gychenogamy. Alva? So xenogamy alli different flowers present in the different plant. Autogamy alli same flower alli alva? Different flower allagalla. Autogamy alli same flower present in the same plant. And bisexual flower adaga same plant or different plant barude illa alva? So same flower alli agbidutte. So autogamy. Next, cleistogamy. So there are 2 types of flowers held. Chasmogamous flowers, cleistogamous. Cleistogamous flower alli different plant ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೇಮ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮೋರ್ ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 6, gychenogamy, isn't it? Pollination by water occurs in Vallisneria, lotus, eichhornia, all of this. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡಿ, Vallisneria, lotus, eichhornia, all are aquatic. Pollination takes place by water is called as hydrophily, and all are hydrophilous plants. What? Aquatic planting. So, even though they are aquatic, lotus and eichhornia will never involve in water pollination. They will either go for air pollination or wind pollination, either by insects, butterflies, birds, like this. Okay, so ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಕ್ವಾಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲೇನೋ ಲೋಟಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐಕಾರ್ನಿಯಾ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಿ even though they are aquatic plants, they never involve in water pollination. They will go for either wind pollination or animal pollination. Takes place through animals. Okay, zoophily. They will opt for either Anamophily or zoophily. But Vallisneria, which is a freshwater plant which grow only in fresh water, this involves in water pollination. It releases the male gametes onto the surface of the water. The wavy movement of the water will carry the male gametes and transfer it to the female flower stigma, which is present on the surface of the water itself. Okay. So, hence, fertilization or pollination takes place in the surface of the water. Such a type of water pollination is said to be epihydrogamy. Epi means surface, hydro means on surface of the water, gamy means transferring of gametes. So, the transferring of gametes takes place through water on the surface itself. So, it will never enter inside the water. Okay, and such condition is said to be epihydrogamy. Vallisneria is the best example for that. So some of the plants are that which are submerged, means all are found inside the water. Okay, example seagrass. So inside in this type of flowers, the male gametes are coated by the mucilaginous sheath. This sheath, mucilaginous sheath coating pollen grains will never get wet by the water and they will easily transfer in the water current. So, in order to transfer them in the in-depth water current, the shape of the pollen grains are of ribbon type, disc shape. So, okay, tapering line, okay, which can easily transfer inside the water and reaches the female gametes. Okay, so such a type of pollination takes place in water is said to be inside the water, said to be hypohydrogamy. Hypo means inside the water. Epi means on the surface of the water. So water pollination is of 2 types, epihydrogamy and hypohydrogamy. Vallisneria is an example for epihydrogamy and Zoostera is an example for hypohydrogamy. It's there in the textbook, you can go through this. Okay, next. Perisperm is there. This also I have discussed in the structure of the cell, isn't it? Now only I have told you. So what is the perisperm? Degenerated part of synergida, peripheral part of endosperma, degenerate part of secondary nucleus are remnant of this. So now only I have told you, in some of the cells we can see the persistent of remnant of nucleus. So not nucleus, nucellus. Okay, don't get confused, nucleus and nucellus. It is nucellus. Okay, innermost layer of the Megasporangium, which covers the embryo sac, is called as nucellus, which is nutritive in its function. Okay, so this remnant part of the persistent nucellus is called as what? Perisperm. So ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 5. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 9. So see, such type of questions will also come for you people. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು 2 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಆ ತರ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, so here 2 statements are given. One is assertion and one is reason. So ಈ ಏನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೀಸನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? 2 ಕರೆಕ್ಟು, ಎಲ್ಲ 2 ತಪ್ಪು, ಇಲ್ಲ 1 ಕರೆಕ್ಟು 1 ತಪ್ಪು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈ ತರ ಏನೇನೋ ಮರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So one example ನೋಡೋಣ. So very first question number 9 ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ assertion, if a pollen mother cell has 42 chromosomes, pollen mother cell is a diploid cell, of course it has 42 chromosomes, diploid condition. The pollen has only 21 chromosomes. ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? So pollen mother cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ 42 chromosome ಇದ್ರೆ, this pollen mother cell involves a meiotic division to produce the pollen grains, isn't it? So we know this. So this statement is correct. Alva, if a pollen mother cell has 42 chromosomes, this involves a meiotic division and produces the pollens which have only 21 chromosomes. Why? Because they are haploid in its condition. ಅವು haploid ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ? 21 chromosome ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Assertion ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. Reason ನೋಡೋಣ. Pollens are formed after meiosis in pollen mothers. Okay, correct. So ಈಗ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Both assertion and reason are true and the reason is a correct explanation of the assertion. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? We have to check that. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ assertion ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Pollen mother cell have 42 chromosome and the pollen grains have 21 chromosomes. Why this happens here means pollens are formed after meiosis inside the pollen mother cell. So this is a correct explanation, correct reason. Okay, so option 1 is correct, but let's see other option also. For both assertion and reason are true, ಎರಡು ಸರಿ ಇದೆ, but reason is not correct explanation of the assertion. ಅಲ್ಲ, ತಪ್ಪು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ reason is giving correct explanation for the assertion here. Okay, so that's why option B is wrong. Assertion is true, but reason is false. No, this is also a wrong statement. Why? Because both assertion and reason are correct. Okay, next. Both assertion and reason are false. This is also not a correct statement. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದನ್ನ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? One more question. Okay, question number 10. Endosperm is a nutritive tissue and it is triploid. Correct tappa? Idina explanation nodbeku. So I have told you endosperm is a nutritive tissue and it is triploid in its appearance. Yake? 2 polar diploid nuclei fuses with 1 male gametes and it is triploid in its appearance. This is a correct statement. So reason noting, endosperm is formed by the fusion of secondary nucleus with second male gamete. It is used up by the developing embryo, hence it is called as nutritive tissue. Of course, Reason is the correct explanation for the assertion and both the statements are true. Okay, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅದೇ ತರ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. Both assertion and reason are true and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Sorry, this is the correct option for our question. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. Wrong. Assertion is true, but reason is false. This is also wrong. And both assertion and reason are false. This is also wrong. So which is the correct one? Option number A. Alpha. Option A is the correct option for the question number 10. So ನೋಡಿ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಸುಮಾರು ಇದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. I have shown you only 2 questions. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ತರ ನೀವು ಸುಮಾರು 100 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Okay, shall we go for the next question very fast? So since there is a shortage of time, match the biotic agent of cross pollination given in column 1 with their feature given in column 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below. Okay, so column 1 nalli navenenu kottide, so which type of pollination takes place adannu kottide. So illi column 2 alli ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಝೂಫಿಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Pollination takes place by animals. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ 4 alpha. So if we know what is zoophily, then we can answer such a type of question. So what is zoophily? Phily means pollination, zoo means animals. Okay, pollination takes place by animals. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ A ಗೆ 4 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ A ಗೆ 4 ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಸೊ A ಗೆ 4 ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿದೆ, C ಮತ್ತೆ D. Let's see the other option. Ornithophily ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Pollination takes place by birds. That we have to know ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಂಟಮೋಫಿಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Pollination takes place by insects. Chiropterophily ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Pollination takes place by bats. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. A4 B1 C2 D3 ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. A4 B1 C2 D3. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ A4 B2 ಇದೆ, B ಗೆ 1 ಬರಬೇಕು, 2 ಅಲ್ವಾ? So that's why which is the correct option here? C. Option C is the correct option for the question number 11. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಹೋಗೋಣ. The largest cell in an embryo sac is, see, an embryo sac consisting of 7-celled 8 nucleus. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ 7 cells ಇರುತ್ತೆ? 3 antipodal cells, 3 egg apparatus ಅಲ್ಲಿ, 2 synergy, 1 egg ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So total 6 ಆಯ್ತು, 6 cells. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ 7 ಸೆಲ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈ 8 ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 3 ಆಂಟಿಪೋಡಲ್ಸ್, 3 ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, 2 ಸಿನರ್ಜಿ ಇದ್ರೆ 2, ಟೋಟಲ್ 5 ಆಯ್ತು. ಎಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 6 ಆಯ್ತು. ಇನ್ನು 2 ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಪೋರಾನ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, 2 ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆನೆ ಹಾಗೆ. So that's why the embryo sac, matured embryo sac is said to be 7-celled 8 nucleated condition. Okay, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ of course it is central cell only ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಂಟಿಪೋಡಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ, ಸಿನರ್ಜಿದು ಎಗ್ಗು ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಔಟರ್ ಕಡೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, which one of the following is not related to other three? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು. ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ಕಿಗೋನಿಯಂ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ or lower plants ನ ಆರ್ಕಿಗೋನಿಯಂ. Oogonium is also related to female reproductive part where it will undergo division and produces oogonious cells. Oogonia formation involved. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, oogonia nothing but egg formation involved. Ovule, ovule ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೊರಾಂಜಿಯಂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಎಗ್ ನ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಓವಲ್. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. Whereas antheridium ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ಲೋಯರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್, ಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನ antheridium ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನ ಆರ್ಕಿಗೋನಿಯಂ. So all the 3 A, B, C options are related to female reproductive part, and the 1 D, antheridium, is not related to female, it is related to male reproductive part of the flower. So that's why, so this is the option. Antheridium is not related to other 3. Okay. Next, shall we go for the next one? How many meiotic divisions are required for the formation of 100 functional megaspores? So, nodi, asset of microspores, the formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell inside the megasporangium, that is nothing but ovule, through meiotic division is called as what? Megasporogenesis. Alba, adana megasporogenesis. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು for the formation of 100 functional megaspores. See, as we know, after meiotic division, how many cells are forming here? 4, isn't it? So, formation of 100, if one meiotic division result in the formation of 4 cells, 4 megaspores, and for the formation of 100, how many meiotic division has to be takes place? Alpha. So, 25 into 4, eshtaito 100. So, option is 25. ಅಂತ select ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಆದರೆ you have to see the question very clearly. They are asking that 100 functional megasporogenesis. See, megasporogenesis is different from microsporogenesis. After the completion of microsporogenesis, all the 4 microspores will get converted as a pollen grains. Alpha. So pollen grains age ave ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ male gametes produce. But in megasporogenesis, 4 megaspores are formed. Among them, only 1 megaspore will be functional. Remaining 3 will be degenerating. That we have to keep it in mind. Okay. So they're asking about functional megaspores, not all megaspores. So that's why for the formation of 1 functional megaspores, it not completed by only 24 meiotic division. We require how much? 100 meiotic division. So which is the correct option here? 100, not 25. Alva. So ee tara question na sariyagi odkobeku. Megaspores meiotic division, megaspores nodi takshana calculate ಮಾಡಿ 25 tick ಮಾಡಬಾರದು. So which is the correct option here? 100. Why? For the formation of functional megaspores, we require 100 meiotic division. Why? Because after the completion of each meiotic division, of course 4 megaspores are formed, but only 1 will be functional, remaining 3 will be degenerated. Okay. For the formation of 100 megaspore, we require 100 meiotic division. Artha question now, like this we have to solve. Next question, nodi. The total number of nuclei involved in double fertilization in Endosperm are 2, 3, 4, 5. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ total number of nucleus ಎಷ್ಟು? Double fertilization ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡೂ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲ process. Very first, single male gamete fuses with the egg to form the zygote. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎರಡು nuclei involved ಆಯ್ತು. Remaining 1 male gamete, second male gamete, fuses with the diploid nuclei, polar diploid nuclei. 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5. So, 5 nuclei are involving in the double fertilization process. Okay. Next. In any there, question number 15. Question number 15, nodi. Total number of meiotic division required for forming 100 zygotes or 100 grains of wheat is. Alva, ma'am, ivaga tane discuss madidvi, of course 100. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಮೆಗಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ 100 zygotes. Zygotes includes what? Fusion of male and female gametes. ಯಾವಾಗ zygote ಹೆಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Fusion of male and female gametes result in the formation of zygote. Isn't it? So we have to calculate both the formation of female gamete as well as the formation of male gametes. ಆಯ್ತಾ? zygote ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ. Male gametes formation, meiotic division ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Female gametes formation ಆಗೋಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಏನು meiotic divisions ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈಗ remember, zygote will not formed by meiotic division, isn't it? So how the zygote are forming here? Fusion of male and female gametes result in the formation of zygote. So ಈಗ fusion ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಮೇಲ್ gametes formation ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ we require meiotic division, because haploid gametes are always formed through meiotic division, not through mitotic division. Okay, diploid cell involve ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ haploid gametes ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು? meiotic division has to be taken place. Okay, ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ gametes formation ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು meiotic division ಬೇಕು? 100. alpha. So similarly, male gametes formation agbeku andre, so each meiotic division results in the formation of 4 male gametes. All the 4 will be functional here, alpha. So that's why 25 meiotic division ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಲ್ gametes 100 male gametes ಬರುತ್ತೆ. This 100 fuses with the 100 female gametes result in the formation of 100 zygotes. But meiotic division is only 25 for male gametes formation, 100 for female gametes formation, 100 plus 25 is to 125. Okay, so avaga option yavadagutte namge 125 ellide C. Option C is the correct answer for the question number 50. Okay, so like this, first we have to analyze the question, think it twice, and then go for the correct option selection. Okay, so overconfidence irbodu. Overconfidence iddaga ee tara questions miss ago chances ಇದೆ. Anyhow, how much you are knowing the concepts very detailedly, in such a type of question, think twice. Okay, so direct agi bariyodu iruttala adana beg take ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ ತರ ಟ್ರಿಕಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ನ ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ zygote formation ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು, male gametes, female gametes, like this we have to calculate. Okay, or else we will lose the marks very easy. ಬೇಗ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ marks. Okay, next, so we go for the next one. Question number 60. Multinucleate condition is present in. Okay, so you know, multinucleate condition is present in. ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ multinucleated condition? Quotient center, maize, meristematic tissue, ಆಮೇಲೆ liquid endosperm of coconut. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ liquid endosperm is consisting of many nucleus which is not followed by the cell division. Alva? So free nucleus will be appear in liquid condition inside the tender coconut anta ಹೇಳಿ. So option ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರಿಬಹುದು. ಏನಂತ multinucleated condition is present in liquid endosperm of coconut. Maize ಅಲ್ಲಿ multinucleated condition ನಾವು ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Meristematic tissue ಅಲ್ಲಿ multinucleated condition ಇಲ್ಲ. What is this quotient center? ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ quotient center? ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Quotient center is nothing but, write down, a group of 1000 cells. A group of 1000 cells found in the root tip of the vascular plants is called as what? Quotient center. If this option come in other versions, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು what is quotient center. ಅವಾಗ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್, a group of 1000 cells found in the root tip of vascular plants. ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು? quotient center ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ multinucleated conditions is present in liquid endosperm of coconut. We know liquid endosperm of coconut is made up of multinucleated conditions. That's why option D is the correct answer for question number 16. Okay, next, shall we go for the other one? I'm not that much fast, I think, because we know the concepts detailedly and we can easily answer the questions. Okay, next, question number 70. Which of the following process is necessary for the complete development of male gametophyte? Nodi, which of the following process is necessary for the complete development of male gametophyte? Which are male gametophyte? Male gametes. Alva, male gametes formation ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ process ನಡಿಬೇಕು? Which are all the process that has to be takes place for the formation of this male gametophyte? What are all the options? Let's see the option first. 1 meiotic cell division and 2 mitotic cell division. 1 meiotic cell division and 1 mitotic cell division. 2 meiotic cell division and 1 mitotic cell division. 2 mitotic cell division. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಪೋರೋಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್ ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So pollen mother cell involves in the formation of microspores. Alpha. So ಏನ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ here meiotic division takes place because pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell PMC or MMC involves in meiotic division because this is diploid in its number, hence gametes of haploid they have to undergo meiotic division. Okay, so since that diploid in its number they will undergo meiotic division to produce microspores. Microspores ಬಂದಿವ. So this microspore will dissociate with each other and get converted as a pollen grains. ಅಲ್ವಾ ಏನೇನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ pollen grain structure ಅಲ್ಲಿ outer exine, hard exine, inner intine. Inside this unequal mitosis takes place resulting in the formation of one large cell called as vegetative cell and a small spindle shaped cell called as generative cell. So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು meiotic division ಇಂದ microspore ಬಂತು microspore pollen grains ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ one more mitotic division takes place, not meiosis. Mitosis takes place, result in the formation of the structure of the pollen. Okay, so this pollen grain as soon as they falls on the stigma or before the pollination itself or after pollination or during the transferring of the male gametes through the pollen any of the site ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು this generative cell undergo mitotic division again and divides into two male gametes. So total process includes one meiotic division. Eli PMC develops microspores. That one meiotic division takes place. Microspores get develops as a pollen grains. That one mitotic division takes place. Microspores ಒಳಗಡೆ two cells ಆಗುತ್ತೆ pollen grains ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು vegetative cell ಇನ್ನೊಂದು generative cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು meiotic division ಆಗುತ್ತೆ again generative cell involves in one more mitotic division and produces two male gametes. Okay, so here one meiotic division to mitotic division. So that's why which is the correct option for this question? Option A. ಅಲ್ವಾ ಈ ತರ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Working is not there in the biology, but analysis should be done. Without analyzing, if you blindly select the options, you will lose the marks. Okay. Question number 18 node. This is based on the structure. Diagrams are very important at the Sumasala helping. Alva. So go through the diagrams, practice the diagrams because many questions will come on the diagrams. So that's why. So this question is based on the diagram. So identify A, B, C and D in the given figure or diagram or false fruit of types of fruit fruits which is formed by the ovary. And sometimes ovary will never form the fruit. Other part of the flower such as thalamus will involve in fruit formation. So such a type of fruits are called as what? False fruit. Example, strawberry, apple is the best example for what? False fruit. Alva. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ parts na ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ describe ಮಾಡಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಅಂತ ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲೇಬಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ದಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಯಾವುದು ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಸೊ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಎ ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಬಿ ಸಿ ನೋಡಿ ಬಿ ಲೇಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಏನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸೀಸ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ದ ಸೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಿ ಎಂಡೋಕಾಮ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎಂಡೋಕಾಮ್ ಡಿ ಏನು ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಡಿ ಥೆಲಾಮಸ್ ಸಾರಿ ಡಿ ಮೀಸೋಕಾಮ್ ಮೀಸೋ ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 18 ಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ Okay, option C is the correct option. So, yaha gottagutte namidu we have to know the labelings very clear. Practice madidre diagrams na labeling sariyagi gottidre ee tara questions easy aga get maadu. So, why it is called as false fruit? Nodi edible part yavdu navu thalamus tinte false fruit tinte original fruit ellide this part seed cover agidiyala aa part original But we are cutting, while cutting apple, we will remove that part on the center part along with the seeds. Gatti iruttalla, that is called as endocarp, covering of the seeds, endocarp. ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಸಾಕ್ತೇವೆ. false fruit ನ ನಾವು ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ. The edible part of the false fruit is thalamus, not the virginal. ಆದರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತಿಂತೀವಿ? ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಎಪಿಕಾರ್ಪು ತಿನ್ಬೋದು, ಮೀಸೋಕಾರ್ಪು ತಿನ್ಬೋದು, ಎಂಡೋಕಾರ್ಪ್ ತಿನ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೀಡೆ ಎಂಡೋಕಾರ್ಪ್. ವಾಟೆ ತಿಂತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸಡನ್ ಬೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ coconut is also a fruit alva. So coconut kuda fruit. Alle mango and coconut are said to be drupe fruits. Drupe fruits anta karitheve navu adana. Adralli different edible part is totally different. Alli epicarp tintivi, mesocarp tintivi, endocarp seed na bisakti. ಅದೇ ಸೇಮ್ ಡ್ರೂಪ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಕೊಕೊನೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಪಿಕಾರ್ಪ್ ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ ನಾನು. ಎಪಿಕಾರ್ಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಕಾಯಿ ನಾಪಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಭಾಗ, ಅದೇನದು? ಎಪಿಕಾರ್ಪ್. ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾರು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಕ್ಲೆರೆನ್ಕೈಮಾ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಮೀಸೋಕಾರ್ಪ್. ಸೊ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ತಿಂತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮೀಸೋಕಾರ್ಪ್ ನಾರು ತಿಂತೀರಾ? ತೆಂಗಿನ ನಾರು. ಎಂಡೋಕಾರ್ಪ್ ತಿಂತೀವಾ? ಯಾವ್ದು ಎಂಡೋಕಾರ್ಪು? ತೆಂಗಿನಕಾಯಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಚಿಪ್ಪು, that is called as hard structure, that is endocarp. Adun tinತೀರಾ? So which is the edible part of the coconut? We are eating seed. Fruit ಯಾವುದು ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಂತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Pericarp entire thing we are not going to eat, but we are going to eat the seed alva. So edible part of the coconut is seed. So ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you people will get the mesocarpets. That is nothing but what? ಚಿಪ್ಪು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್? ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಮಾಷೆಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ, in order to drag the attention of few people, so no one will get mesocarp or endocarp. Okay, all will get the good marks. Question number 19, choose the option showing the correct labeling. This is also based on diagram. Which diagram it is? Dichotomy. Okay, so this is called as plumule, and next to the plumule we can see the presence of two cotyledons. A, option A labeling ಆಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು? 2 cotyledons. Okay, options ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ A cotyledons, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ B ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, A ಅಲ್ಲಿ, C ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ A cotyledons, B ಏನು hypocotyl, C root cap, D radical ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ತಪ್ಪಿದೆ? ಹಿಯರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಸಿ radical ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್, ನಾಟ್ ದಿ radical. ಓಕೆ, ಡಿ ಇಸ್ radical ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ರೂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. Correct answer for the question number 19. Okay, so shall we go for the next one? This is also one diagram based question. The given diagram shows two plants of the same species. Identify the type of pollination indicated as P1, P2, P. Notice, see here, in P1, transferring of pollen grains takes place from the same flower itself. You notice, stigma, anther, pollen grains from the anther of same flower to the stigma of the same flower itself. See the arrow mark very clearly in P1 like this. Okay, so that's why it is called as what? Autogamy. Autogamy ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? P1 is autogamy. Okay, next P2 ನೋಡಿ, transferring of the pollens from the anther of the one flower to the stigma of the another flower present on the same plant. ಎರಡು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ. So that's why it is said to be Dichotomy. Okay, next see the P3 arrow mark observe ಮಾಡಿ, transferring of pollen grains from one flower to the stigma of the another flower present on the different plants. So that's why the correct option is C, autogamy, Dichotomy, xenogamy. ಸೇಮ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಆದ್ರೆ ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೇಲಿದ್ರೆ ಗೈಚಿನೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ. So and totally flowers are also different, plants are also different, then it is said to be xenogamy. Okay, so which is the correct option? Option 3. Clear? Like this type of questions will also appear in your CT or NEET examination. See whether it may be CT or NEET or any competitive exams, analysis should be similar. Okay, if your analysis is correct, if you know the concepts very clearly, then you will easily score marks in biology. Okay, next question number 21. In a type of apomixis known as adventive embryony, embryo directly develops from the cell in the formation. So this is the last concept of the chapter. Yaudu apomixis and polyembryony. So what is apomixis? Formation of seeds without fertilization. There is no fusion of male and female gametes takes place, and zygote formation will also not take place, and then directly the seeds are formed without fertilization, which is a type of asexual reproduction which mimics the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction final product ಯಾವುದು seeds. Seeds ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ fertilization ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ seeds ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ it is a type of asexual reproduction but mimics the sexual reproduction. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So ಯಾವ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Apomixis takes place in two methods. One, the diploid egg cell and cells of the embryo ಇರೋ cells ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಂತೆ diploid egg cells formation. That diploid egg directly develops into seed without fertilization. Okay, so the embryo sac consisting of diploid cell. This diploid cell gets converted as an egg, and without fertilization, egg will develop as a seed. This is one method of developing apomixis or seed formation, apomixis seed formation. Okay, in another method, the nuclear region. Nuclear region ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ? Embryo sac consisting of nuclear region covering high nutritive in its function ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Integument, inner integument, outer. This nuclear cells will protrude inside the embryo sac, and this diploid nuclear cells get converted as an egg cell and develops as a seeds without fertilization. By these two methods, apomixis takes place. Okay, so why it is called as sexual reproduction? Because it is producing seeds, which is the final product of sexual reproduction. But no fusion of male and gametes, female gametes are taking place. Directly, the diploid egg will be formed from the embryo sac cells, or nuclear region will protrude through the embryo sac and they converted as an egg and then to seeds without fertilization. Okay, sometimes if more than one cells are formed as an egg, one or more nuclear cells enter the embryo sac and they get converted as a many egg cells, then it results in the formation of polyembryo. Formation of many embryos, more than one embryos in a single seed is called as what? Polyembryo. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಅಪೋಮಿಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಯಾವ ತರ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಈಸಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟೆಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಏನೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನೋ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ. In a type of apomixis known as adventive embryony, embryos develop directly from nuclear cells or integuments. Correct option. Alva. Zygote. No formation of zygote is taking place at all. Synergids are antipodal cells in an embryo cell. No, synergids and antipodal cells will never involve in formation of apomictic seeds. Okay. Accessory embryo sacs in the ovaries. So correct option is nuclear cells or integument cells involves in the formation of embryo without fertilization. Okay. Next. Pick the odd one out. Pick the odd one out. So which is the odd one here? See, options are that chelazogamy, porogamy, mesogamy, and allogamy. This one you have to know the concept first, then only it will become easy for you to select the option which is odd one, which is odd. most suitable one. You don't know unless and until you know what is telosogamy, what is porogamy, and what is mesogamy. Okay, so what is telosogamy? This is all related to the formation of pollen tube and entry of pollen tube from the pollen grains into the structure of the ovule. Namage gottu double fertilization pollen pistil agid takshanane the pollen tube will be formed on the surface of the stigma. It enters the style and then to the ovule. From which part of the ovule the pollen tube enters the embryo sac, that is of 3 types. Chalazogamy. In chalazogamy, the formation of pollen tube and the protrusion, entry of pollen tube takes place from chalazal pole. Chalazal pole ಒಳಗಡೆಯಿಂದ embryo sac ಹೋದ್ರೆ pollen tube, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ chalazogamy. Porogamy means the pollen tube which is formed from the stigma and style enters through the micropyle region. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ micropyle region, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ovule ಒಳಗಡೆ, that is said to be porogamy. Okay, so what is mesogamy? In some of the cases the pollen tube never enters either through chalazal pole or through micro. ಇರೋದೇ ಎರಡು ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? It enters through integument layers. Integument hard coating ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So that is said to be mesogamy. Better if you write the options alva. Chalazogamy means entry of pollen tube through the chalazal pole. Porogamy means entry of pollen tubes through the micropyle region. Mesogamy means entry of pollen grains through the integument region. Okay, what is allogamy then? Allogamy is not that. That's why it is the odd option. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದೇ 3 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇರೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ allogamy ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ in order to confuse you. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ allogamy ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ which is the correct option here? Odd one out ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ? Allogamy. Okay, so what is allogamy then? Fertilization of stigma, egg, from the transferring of the male gametes from one flower to the another. Allogamy. Xenogamy is nothing but allogamy. Okay, ಆತರ confusing ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. But if we know the definitions clearly, what is chalazogamy, porogamy, mesogamy, allogamy, then we can easily pick the odd one out. Clear, students? Okay, shall we go for the next one? See, question number 23 again, calculation type. Biology ನಾವು calculation ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. The root cells of wheat plant have 42 chromosomes. What would be the number of chromosomes in the synergid cell? ಆಯ್ತಾ ನೋಡಿ, wheat plant, the root cells of wheat plant have 42 chromosomes. Root cells ಅಲ್ಲಿ diploid cells ಇರುತ್ತೆ, that's why they have 42 chromosomes. What would be the number of chromosomes in the synergid cell? Synergid ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ? haploid, because diploid cell involves in the formation of haploid cells. Embryo sac ಅಲ್ಲಿ haploid cells formation. Antipodals, synergids, egg, all are haploid in that number. 2 polar diploid, all are haploid in that number. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ 42 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಯಾವ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 21. 21 will be the number of chromosomes in the synergid cell. So which is the correct option here? C. Clear? Okay. So next, Anamophilus flowers have. What is Anamophilus flowers? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ನಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್. the pollination takes place through wind, is called as what? Anamophilus. Animals ಅಂದ್ರೆ animals ಅನ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. Zoophily ಅಂದ್ರೆ animals pollination, whereas Anamophilus ಅಂದ್ರೆ wind pollination. Okay, wind pollination characteristics na ನಾವು detail ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So wind pollination ಇದೆ, so the flower should possess large feathery stigma. ಯಾಕೆ? Because this feathery stigma, it can easily trap the airborne pollen grains floating in the wind. Okay, so large feathery stigma ಇದ್ರೆ airborne pollen grains ನ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಸುಲಭ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Small smooth stigma ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? So it will slope, it will move off from the stigma. It will never trapped in the stigma. Stigma ಮೇಲೆ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So sessile stigma ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Sessile ಅಂದ್ರೆ no movement at all. Sessile stigma idre al spelling mistake agide material alli ತಿದ್ದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Movement illa andre stigma, it can't able to catch the pollen grains at all. Okay, colored flower, see color idya ilva, wind ಗೆ color ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. In order to attract the insects, the flower should be colored. So which is the correct option here? Large feathery stick. For this we have to detailedly know the catches of Anamophilus flowers, Entomophilus flowers. Here detail a ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆ ಎರಡನ್ನು ನೀವು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Have we completed with 23, 24? Okay. So next question. 25. If any somatic cells of sporophyte produces gametophyte without reduction division, it is. Aita, nodi, if any somatic cells of sporophyte produces what? Produces gametophyte without reduction division, it is. Okay, nodi, first definitions, we have to know the definitions here. What is parthenogenesis? Development of female gametophyte without fertilization. Development of fruits without fertilization. Ali fertilization agane fruit develop agutte. Reduction division ಏನು? Direct ಆಗಿ diploid cells mitotic division ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾಗಿ fruit ಆಗಿ convert ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Such process is called as parthenogenesis. But what is this apogamy? What is this apospory? That one we have, you people have to know. Alpha. So you can write down that. Write down what is apogamy. Formation or development of sporophyte from gamete. Write down development of sporophyte from gametophyte. It is called apogamy. So what is apospory? Formation of sporophyte, so gametophyte from spore. Okay, apogamy andre formation, development of sporophyte from gamete. Ade apospory andre development of gametophyte from sporophyte. Ulta. Aita. So that is called as what? Apogamy and apospory. Okay. So amphimixis means not this one. The for fusion of male and female gametes result in the formation of sex. ಇಲ್ಲಿ reduction division ಆಗುತ್ತೆ amphimixis. But reduction division ಆಗನೆ ಯಾವುದು ಇದನ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್? reduction division ಆಗದನೇ gametophyte production ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the correct option is option A, that is parthenogenesis. Okay, so definitions correct ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Yeah, shall we go for the next one? 26. Maturation of male and female sex organs at different times is known as. It is a type of outbreeding devices. The outbreeding devices. Alpha. So, outbreeding devices develop maturation of male and female sex organs at different times. Dichogamy. Okay, dichogamy. Maturation ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ. Hypogamy means there is a barrier. Right? So between male and female sex organs there is a barrier, and this barrier will protect the falling of anthers containing falling of pollen grains from the anthers to the stigma of the same plant. The barrier protect. Hypogamy. Dichogamy andre maturation of male and female sex organs at different. Polygamy andre many flowers. Single pollen grains hogi many stigma, many flowers another stigma meltade. At a time 2 and 3 flowers ke pollination madre polygamy. Apogamy, now only I have told you, development of sporophyte from gametophyte process nenanta karitivi apogamy. So which is the correct option for this question? Dichogamy. Okay, means male flowers anther mature agi male gametes production ಮಾಡೋದು one time ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೇ female gametes production ಇನ್ನೊಂದು. ಎರಡು ಟೈಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು self pollination ಆಗಲ್ಲ, cross pollination ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So dichogamy is the correct option for this question. Next, question number 27. Which one of the following events takes place after double fertilization? Double fertilization one of the male gamete fuses with the egg to form form the diploid zygote, and then remaining one male gamete fuses with the two diploid nucleus to form primary endosperm nucleus, which is called as triple fusion. Okay, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ events ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, antipodal cells synergies will all disintegrate. ಆಮೇಲೆ zygote develops into embryo. This one, yaudu triploid nucleus get develops as an endosperm. Along with the central cell, it gets converted as an endosperm tissue. Alpha. So, ಏನಿದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. Options ನೋಡಿ, which is the correct option, select. The pollen grains germinate on stigma. No, this takes place before double fertilization, not after double fertilization. Okay. Pollen tube enters the embryo sac. This also not the correct option. Two male gametes are discharged into the embryo sac. This all the three events are taking place before double fertilization only. Alva. Idagilla and double fertilization agade. Gametes illa andre how come it is possible for the double fertilization? Okay. So which is the correct option for our question? That is the pen, primary endosperm nucleus develops into embryo, endosperm. That is the correct option. Alva. So like this, we can select the very suitable option. So next go for question number 28. So which is that, which one of the following statement is correct? Sporogenous tissue is haploid. Sporogenous tissue ellirutte, that one we have to remember first. It comes in the structure of the microsporangium layers. Enlarged view of a microsporangium consisting of outer epidermis, endothelium, middle layers, tapetum, innermost tissue is called as sporogenous tissue. The sporogenous tissue consisting of a diploid cells, not the haploid cells. So that's why this statement is wrong. Sporogenous tissue is haploid and the statement is wrong. Endothelium produces the microspore. No. Sporogenous tissue cells, pollen mother cells or microspore mother cells which produce microspores, not the cells of the endothelium. Okay, these two are protective in their function, not the microspores formation. Tapetum nourishes the developing pollen grains. Of course, this is the right answer. Alva. Tapetum, it is nutritive in its function. They are rich or dense in the dense cytoplasm and they consisting of the nutritive in its function. They nourishes the developing pollen grains. Hard outer layer of pollen is called intine. Alva. Hard outer layer of pollen ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು exine ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Intine ಅಲ್ಲ. Soft layer ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ intine. Alva. So which is the correct option? ಯಾವುದು correct ಆಗಿದೆ statement ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ? That is option C. Tapetum nourishes the developing pollen is the correct option. Correct statement among the following one. Clear? Oh. Next. Question number 29. Which one of the following statement is correct? Yavudu following statement correct is. Dichotomy involves the pollen and stigma of flowers of the different plants. Transferring the information. No? Dichotomy involves the transfer of pollen from one flower onto the stigma of the other flower of the different plants of the particular. That's correct. Tappu. Note. Dichotomy involves the pollen or transferring of pollen from one flower to the stigma of different flowers, different plants. That is important. So, dichotomy involves the transfer of pollen from one flower to the stigma of the another flower of the different plants alla same plant. Dichotomy. Flower ಬೇರೆ one flower ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು flower transfer ಆದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು flower ಒಂದೇ plant ಇರುತ್ತವೆ. Monoecious plant example. Different plants are. Next, cleistogamous flowers are always autogamous. Cleistogamy andre ಏನು ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. They never open at all. Alva, they always found in closed condition. Of course, there should be autogamy. ಅಲ್ಲಿ xenogamy ಅಥವಾ dichotomy ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. So, cleistogamous are always autogamous in its function. Of course, this is the correct option. Xenogamy occurs only by wing pollination. No, there is no rule that xenogamy has to be taken place by wing only. So many zoophilus pollination types are there. Varieties of animals could have xenogamy involved. So this is also wrong statement. Casmigamous flowers do not open at all. No, casmigamous flowers are well exposed. They are well opened and exposed with stamens and stigma. So that's why ಎಲ್ಲ ತಪ್ಪಿದೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಕ್ಲಿಸ್ಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈ ತರ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Question number 30. Identify the phytohormones that can induce parthenocarp. Yav kottidare phytohormones. What are phytohormones? The hormones found inside the plants which involves in the regulation of the growth. Either they can promote the growth or they can inhibit the growth. Elli barutte idu? Nim detail agi study madidira plant growth and development alli study. But now yaake idu ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ we are talking about the in case of parthenocarpy. What is parthenocarpy? Development of fruit without fertilization. ಈ ತರ ಪಾರ್ಥೆನೋಕಾರ್ಪಿನ ಇಂಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಫೈಟೋಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ ದ ತ್ರೀ: ಇಂಡೋಲ್ ಅಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್, IAA, ಇಂಡೋಲ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಾರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್, IBA, naphthalene acetic acid, NAA. All the three have the capacity to induce parthenocarpy. So which is the correct option here? All of these. Okay, so next go for question number 31. So adventive type of polyembryony avag tane helidina last question alli ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ question twist ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಯ್ತಾ. The additional embryo develop apomictically from ಆಯ್ತಾ cleavage of flow embryona ಅಲ್ಲಿ embryo first diploid egg ಇಂದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ flow embryo cleavage ಇಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ apomixis alva. Vegetative cells of nucellar cells or integuments, how? These vegetative cells of nucellar region protrude into the embryo sac and develop cells as embryo. Alva. Other cells of embryo cells such as synergy. So which is the correct option here? Question number 31 ge C. Option C is the correct answer. Oh. Next, which of the following is or absent in an exalbuminous seed? See, depending upon whether the seed will retain the endosperm, prenuclear endosperm or not. Albuminous seed, exalbuminous. Albuminous seeds ಅಲ್ಲಿ endosperm retain ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Monocot seeds examples. So first ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಆಯ್ತಾ. So castor seeds ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಳೆ ಬೀಜ ನಾವು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಳೆ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಟೆಂಡರ್ ಕೋಕೋನಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಈ ತರ without before embryo formation retain complete utilize ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ retain ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ನ albuminous seeds. ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ embryo formation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ನ exalbuminous seeds. ಏನಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಿಪಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಎಂಡೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ C. Okay, next, which of the following is not seen in angiosperm? A. Indirect pollination, B. Siphonogamy, C. Zooidogamy. See correctly, zooidogamy, D. Triple. Okay, so ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಿದು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. what is siphonogamy? Transferring of male gametes through the pollen tube. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Siphonogamy. So what is zooidogamy? Male gametes will swim in a path of female gametes. So swim ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು usually it is absent in angiosperms. It is found in lower plants such as pteridophytes, bryophytes, gymnosperms. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. So zooidogamy is absent in angiosperms. What does zooidogamy mean? Transferring of pollen grains. So mechanism of transferring of pollen grains which where male gametes swim near to the female gametes and passes near to the female gametes. That process is called as zooidogamy. So which is usually absent in angiosperms found in lower plants. Triple fusion. What is indirect pollination? Transferring of pollen grains from one flower to the stigma of the another flower. Different plant may have another flowers. ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಜಿನ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ್ದು ಒಂದಾಗಲ್ಲ, zooidogamy. ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 34. In entomophily the bees generally appear to be attracted more towards red flowers, white flowers, yellow flowers, cleistogamous. See ನೋಡಿ, entomophily means insect pollination. Insect pollination, the flower should be brightly colored, darkly colored. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ರೆಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್. ಯೂಶಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ಲಿ ಕಲರ್. ಯಾವ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ವೈಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲೀಸ್ಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಬರೋದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ರೆಡ್ ವೈಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್, ಅವಾಗ ಆ ತರ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, while planning for an artificial hybridization program involving dioecious plant, which of the following steps would not be relevant? See, artificial hybridization ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Natural outbreeding devices plant in select ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಅವರ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ they have used alpha artificial hybridization technique, which includes two types: emasculation, removal of masculine part from the bisexual flower in order to avoid self-pollination, and the emasculated flower should be bagged. Why? In order to avoid the entry of this unwanted pollen. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಏನೋ artificial programming involving dioecious plants. Dioecious plants ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಯೂನಿಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ಯಾಗಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಪೋಲನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಬಾರ್, ಡಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೋಲನ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Emasculation is not required here because it is not a bisexual flower. Dioecious plant does not consisting of bisexual flower, they consisting of unisexual flower on different plant. That's why no chance of falling of stigma, falling of pollen rays from the same plant to the stigma of the same. So that's why emasculation is not required here. Collection of pollen rays ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ. So which is the correct option? Emasculation. Answer C. Okay. In a fertilized embryo sac, the haploid, diploid, triploid structure ಯಾವುದು? Synergid haploid, zygote diploid. ಯಾವುದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Male and female haploid gametes fuse ಆಗಿ diploid cell product. One male gamete fuses with full or two polar nuclei, result in the formation of triploid structure, that is endosperm nuclei. So which is the correct option here? Option A is correct. Haploid ಯಾವುದು, diploid ಯಾವುದು, triploid ಯಾವುದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 37. Male gametes in angiosperms are formed before pollination, after pollination in pollen grains, after pollination in all the three cases, anytime, any site, male gametes can be formed. That's why pollen grains are of two types: 2-celled stage and 3-celled stage. ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ male gametes formation. Before pollination ಆದರೆ 3-celled stage. ಆ ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಪೋಲನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜನರೇಟಿವ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ 2 ಮೇಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೈಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇನ್. ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಪಾಲಿನೇಷನ್. ಹರ್ಮಾಫ್ರೋಡೈಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡ್ರಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯೂನಿಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೈಕ್ಲೈನಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಂಡ್ರೀಶಿಯಂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಚೂರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೈನೀಶಿಯಂ ಮೆಚೂರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡ್ರಸ್. ಡೈಕ್ಲೈನಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಡೈಕೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಚೂರಿಟಿನ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡ್ರಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನೆವರ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡ್ರಸ್. ಡೈಕ್ಲೈನಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಹೆಟಿರೋಸ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್ ಹೆಟಿರೋಸ್. ಸೊ ಹರ್ಮೋಫ್ರೋಡೈಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬೈಸೆಕ್ಷುಯಲ್. ಸೊ ಬೈಸೆಕ್ಷುಯಲ್ maturation of male and female, maturation of male gametes first takes place than the female gametes. Okay, so hermaphrodite flowers ಅಲ್ಲಿ autogamy ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, protrandrous flowers ಅಲ್ಲಿ maturity variation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೆಟಿರೋಸ್ಟೈಲಿ ಯಾವುದು? ಹೆಟಿರೋಸ್ಟೈಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? ಈಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಲೆಂತ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಚಿಕ್ಕ. ಡೈಕ್ಲೈನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಆಟೋಗ್ಯಾಮಿ, ಹರ್ಮೋಫ್ರೋಡೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರೋಟ್ರಾಂಡಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ ಬೇರೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಒಂದು ಪೋಲನ್ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಲ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಹೆಟೆರೋಸ್ಟೆಲಿಲು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಡೈಕ್ಲೈನೇಟಲ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋತ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. In the flower morphology, which of the following acts as a receptive part of pollination? Pollination ಆಗುವಾಗ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು? ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ. ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಆನ್ಸರ್? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ, ಸ್ಟಿಗ್ಮಾ. ಹೈ ಕಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್, ಈಸಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ. ಹೈ ಕಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಶೋ part of the angiosperm is known as what? Flower. ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು? Flower ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, so we have discussed with some of the question. Not all the question is possible. Why? Because I have to give a detailed explanation for each and every question for your paper. Like this, go through with other questions, and if you come across with any of the doubts, you can clarify it by messaging the particular question. Okay, so thank you.